SHOT Show 2025, we are at the Holosun booth. I'm sitting here with Josh. You guys probably have seen a lot of the new technology that we made videos on the channel before, including the thermal units that are now integrated thermal and optic, which whether you like the product or not, or whether you feel it requires more developers or not, there's no other company that has shown that that technology is possible in such a flawless and simple system to be able to mount, run it, and have it for whatever purpose you might use. For officers who live in more rural areas, having a thermal unit in an area that you might just be able to shoot out there and just see what's available is really valuable. The night vision technology is also absolutely incredible. So I'm very excited to see where Holosun is going with this technology. And right now, speaking of night vision, we have a lot of kind of like their units that are new to 2025.
Yeah.
I'd be very curious to see what you guys have going on.
Man, we have so much new stuff. We'll dive in on the night vision topics, since that's kind of where we're starting off first. Also, in the night vision space, we have basically updated our LS series. So all the LS lasers that people know and love, we've now made them crazy light. We've made them super small form factors, and we've decreased the horsepower of the IR illuminator, which is kind of one of the big critique points of just like, hey, we really like your lasers, they're very robust, but we would like a little more horsepower on the illuminator side of things. So now the VCSEL illuminators in the Iris 3 and the Iris 4 are pushing out 60 milliwatts, so it's a lot of power, and it's the VCSEL, so it's super clean, very crispy. The videos for the Iris 3 are kind of slowly starting to roll out right now, and now we're kind of completing the rest of the family with the 1, 2, and full burn. So the 1 is obviously going to be just a single laser, IR, visible, red or green. The 221 is 2 lasers, IR laser and visible laser. These do come with a single pressure pad button. The Iris 3, which has been out for just a little bit now, comes with a dual pressure pad button. This is going to be your kind of traditional, the Mochi we're thinking about. IR laser, Viz laser, and then the cool thing is that we have a slider on top here, so you can actually adjust the beam pattern width on our IR illuminators.
You're kind of adjusting the hotspot. That'd be
right, yeah. So if you want to punch out a little bit further, you can kind of just focus it in and get a little more energy. The cool thing now is that we have a 4-in-1 unit, so this takes all the same technology of the Iris 3. Now we just add a white light to it. It sounds like 20,000 candela, 800 to 1,000 lumens. Kind of still figure out exactly what my specs are going to be for this, but the cool thing is you got 2 plugs on the back, and it does come with a triple lead switch. So you have the ability to control all of it on there, or you can just use the fire buttons that are on top of the unit. And the cool thing about these is they're so small, really compact at the rim. You can easily get a nice C-clamp grip and have it access with your thumbs for the slider and all of that. So continuing, so that's basically the new rifle options, or PID, whatever you put these on. And now we also have the new PID Pro. So this is basically going to be an all-in-one unit for a pistol, maybe a flux raider, something along those lines. You're going to have a visible laser, an IR laser, a white light, and an LED IR illuminator. That's all at a very small form factor. So illuminators can be 350 milliwatts, but it's going to be an LED, so it's just a lot more flood, because obviously you're not really using this unit to kind of push off far distances.
I think that people don't realize, like what you're saying is 100% correct, right? This technology, we're seeing a lot more chassis systems coming up because of the SIG trigger units, the FC units, and things like that. Everyone's developing something for it. I was also just at the Recover Tactical booth, where you're able to have like chassis systems for your Glocks, things like that. So this is becoming a very big deal. So to have a smaller, more compact system, whether it be for like home defense or close quarter stuff, I think it's a great technology to be able to have. Obviously, much more practical than any of the larger units that are meant for rifle purposes.
100%, yeah. And the cool thing too with these is just the form factor, Obviously, holster compatibility is still kind of working on figuring out exactly where we're going to end up with that.
Yeah, but you have a chassis, you're good. Like you're running out the access.
Yeah, for both sides of a backpack, you're going to be just So that kind of completes the new laser units that we have for this year. And then moving on to kind of the EDC/white light options, we have the PID-K, which now we kind of basically took the unit from last year, shrunk it down a lot, refined it, just actually out to the TLR7 footprint holsters. So everyone's looking for compatibility with those. Nothing's worse than like buying a new product. You get to buy a whole bunch of new holsters and stuff. We totally hear you guys on that. So we engineered this one basically to fit that footprint. It's still a work in progress. We still might do some adjustments to the mount, some adjustments for the buttons, but its current configuration, we're pushing up roughly 20 to 25,000 candela. You're getting roughly 800 to 1,000 lumens, kind of just depends. So
that's for like the Glock 48s and P365. Though that's incredible, because up until now, I think the highest we were able to get is around 500 lumens. So even pushing past it is a really big development, because we haven't had another option. So that's actually still great.
And the cool thing too is also got a rechargeable battery in here, so you just unscrew the cap, you can plug in a USB-C to charge the 16340 that's inside there, fixed to the 16340. And other cool thing about this is that the mount on the top here actually has like a slider adjustment, so you can get it closer to a trigger guard, try to match the flush fit of the front of the gun. Nothing looks better to me than like you have a gun and the light says flush, it just looks great. So this gives you the ability to do that.
Well, I like that also because some guns have the offering where it kind of mounts in a certain spot and then you'll see it. Exactly. So having it like that flat and being able to move it with maintaining the same rigidity, I think is very important. That's like,
yeah, 100%. We just want to give people more options and make it easier to install these things, so we get it. Like you buy a 365 and you have 14 different frames for all these different parts, and so it's just, having the ability to put things on all these other guns just makes a lot of sense to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then continuing on to kind of finishing up the pistol stuff, kind of our proof of concepts for the DPS piston thermal. This is actually going to will be a product this year. I don't know exactly what time frame for releasing this. Some a lot more testing to do with it.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing about it is you're basically getting a pistol thermal. The thermal sensor is going to be on the bottom. It's wirelessly communicates with the sensor that sits on top. It's kind of got some interesting things that I think people may not, people are thinking like, oh, it's kind of the gimmicky, like, what am I going to use this for? Well, I meant, like last night we had it in the dark range, and it was super entertaining. So when you would shoot the paper, you could easily see the trace or the heat from the bullet passing.
Oh, wow.
So the sensor is very sensitive. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting use cases for this process, like those Raiders things are going back. I think this year is kind of like the chassis year, with the new RX-7 and all these guns coming out. So hopefully these kind of accessories are going to be something that's really cool for that. So now you can have a thermal capability on your Flux Raider in a bag with a flashlight. It's kind of...
Well, the reason why I think this is valuable is I think that people underestimate the value for people like in law enforcement, where night vision, you're able to see in the dark,
yeah,
but you can't see a person hiding in the dark. You still need to be able to see them. So for something like this means if they're working at night and they're chasing someone who is already a live threat, being able to scan an area and also be able to see a heat signature is a very valuable thing. And I think this year I've been seeing a lot of thermal options out here because people are seeing that night vision is awesome, but super expensive. It's a very big deal right now for a lot of people. So yeah, I absolutely see the value. It comes out to purpose of use. If this would be something for me that would be interesting for home defense as well, where I can just create an ambush for my house. I don't need to leave my family. I don't need to leave my kids. Look down the hallway, see signature, and you're good to go. I think that's a very valuable thing.
Yeah, and the cool thing too is the price point on this is going to be pretty reasonable. You're looking at around $1,000 for this West Coast comes out. So just providing a lot of...
That's a two-part thing for $1,000.
Correct. Yeah, well,
that's awesome. Okay, cool.
Moving down to our rifle stuff for this year, we are now roughing with the 3X Prism sight. We showed this off a couple of years ago. There's a lot of stuff that year, so I think it kind of got overshadowed by some DRS units and some other stuff. But now we have a micro prism. It's edge class. It comes in a red or green illumination, so you can pick and choose between both of those. Got a nice BDC inside of it. I released for pretty decent. Nice QD mount. So it's kind of a really simplistic offering for the micro prism. So I think you get a lot of requests for that. And so now
it's a great option for people having astigmatism. That's where it comes in value. So it's underlooked because some people don't think that it's necessary. For a lot of people, that's really all they got. So seeing the development of that is still valuable for a lot of people.
Moving from there, we have basically our new AIMS series. So this is going to be the AIMS 4 and the AIMS Pro. Biggest changes for these is that we increased we did a whole new mount for them. Some people were complaining, hey, we don't really like the mount that much. Like, okay, I have no problem here, you guys. So we redid a whole mount for it on the underside. We've increased the parallax efficiency. Sounds like 50% better on the parallax sign of these. So for people who are just like, hey, you know what, I have a little bit of fisheye effect or something like that, now that's completely sorted with these units. The other cool thing is that the AIMS Pro now comes with an anti-reflection device that's built in front of it.
Nice.
Or you can swap. That's this one. Yeah, so you see the little honeycomb textures.
Oh, yeah.
So you can swap that on and just run regular class frame.
As I'm used to that, on my primary rifle, I have the 515 GM. Love it, and it comes with that integrated, which I love. So being able to have it also for a squared off optic where it could be perceived to have a more of an issue with light hitting it, having that honeycomb design is definitely valuable.
Big window, one's more laser if you have to race, so having a little bit of something to help with that is definitely the key for that. Then we have the AIMS Core, which is kind of the same thing, just pared down a little bit as far as the feature goes, cheaper price point, but all the same features that we just talked about as far as the better parallax. The cool thing now for this year is that we're going to be offering these in red, green, and gold LED reticles. So for anybody who's got the colorblind issues, now you have a couple more options.
I know I've seen that with the 510C, I believe. You had those options as well for like
shop for a 512 we have.
512, yeah. So I remember there's the larger window where being able to see, and then that gold dot really stands out.
Yeah, there's some people out there who have just issues with color blindness, and this is one of those things where you can't really be yellow colorblind. It's a very, very small amount of the population. So yellow and gold will be one of those colors switches over.
Yeah, with like the key thing I'm seeing with a lot of the things you guys put out is I want the average person, regardless of where they're holding, to be have some capability in some capacities. So whether that be for affordability, I want a basic laser. If I want higher technologies, if I want lower technologies, better price point, you guys are really putting out a spread for people to be able to have no excuses.
And that's kind of our whole business, is to like kind of look at areas and spaces in the market and say how we can improve this, make this easier for an entry-level customer or people who are just getting into this. There are so many more people that are joining the gun industry all of the time who have no clue about any of these things. So for providing something at a reasonable price point, so then to spend the rest of the money on ammo, get out and force to practice, and then it's a lot more sense.
Amazing one. Well done.
Moving to the last things on the list, we have the new ARO series. And so these are going to be replacements for our 503 and 403. You guys know and love those. They've been out forever. But now it's time to update them now. So we have a new mount for these. The cool thing is now we also have the ARO Evo, which is going to be a 26 millimeter tube sight. Bigger, just increasing that window size. The price points on these are crazy. The arrows are $59. Evo's cutting it around at a $200 price point. So just try to give as many people as options as you can. Obviously, they still fit those D1 footprints if you got those aftermarket mounts. You're going to get it's just a blow. They're kind of more of a rifle focused light for the sphere as far as lasers and optics and stuff like that. But we're always working on a bunch of very new stuff. Like, it never stops. It's my favorite time of the year.
I love it because every time I come in, every time I watch shot show footage of the things you guys are releasing, you're always pushing the envelope. I really think that of the biggest things that we're getting, it might have been almost only a proof of concept. I was running it myself in my house. The night vision integrated optics is already showing that this is possible. So between now and 5 years from now, who knows where it's going to be. That I think Holosun, you guys has started that trend, and we're very curious to know where things go in the future.
Well, it's one of those things where as a company, we're willing to take that risk. We're so nimble. We listen to the feedback for what our customers want. Like, anybody can message me at any point in time and say, hey man, I think it'd be really cool if you guys read this. And that kind of direct feedback goes right into the hearts that we're making. Holosun as a company, we all love to go out and shoot. Everybody there is so into it. And so we just kind of make the stuff that we want to have, honestly. And it turns out you guys are pretty happy with that stuff as well.
I'm not going to play. Pretty much all my optics are going to be Holosun optic, whether it be for my concealed carry gun with EPS carry, which I love EPS carry. It really, that changed the game for me with regard to, like, it was kind of like the 509, though, like more commonly available footprints and being able to use those. The 515 GM is my primary rifle optic. Add a riser and love it. It's so simplistic. It runs the way it needs to. Great battery life. I can't complain. So you guys are doing amazing work. Really appreciate you guys having me out. Thank you so much, yeah.
Perfect.